That is impossible. If you start out wrong, it's hard to end up right. It is. That's why you need to start early in your children's lives, giving them the things they need. And I ain't talking about stuff, but I'm talking about those character building tips and those things that define how they will live their lives and where they will place their value. Because that's what it's all about, how you value a situation. Back in the old days, husbands and wives had problems just like we do in these days, but they valued their relationship in a different light than we do now. Now we understand, all I got to do is leave you. If I leave you, I ain't got you no more. And that's the easy way out. And so families are interested in taking the easy way out. Listen, you ain't the first somebody that have gone through a marital situation.
No.
And you ain't going to be the last somebody. And just like others have worked out their mess, yours can be worked out also.
All right.
So he says in chapter 16, verse 1, says, Sarah, who was Abram's wife, realized one day that she was getting on up in age and she didn't have any children. And in the Bible days when you didn't have any children, not only were you sad, but there was a particular taboo that went along with not having any children. It was like God had cursed your seed, the reason you can't have no children. It's something in you that don't need to be put in somebody else. The reason why you ain't got no kids. And a whole lot of folks got children and they got stuff in them that don't need to be put in anybody else, but God have blessed them with children. That's why when God gives you children, you give your children the word of God. Now there's so much about yourself that you won't be able to help but giving your children. Your children learn from you vicariously. They learn when you ain't telling them stuff. They learn when you're not teaching. They are learning from you when you don't want them to be. So he says, I ain't got no kids.
I ain't got no.
And Sarah said, but I got this real pretty
handmaid,
Egyptian handmaid servant. And I know Abraham hadn't paid any attention to her in the past. And she said to him, I'm going to give you my handmaid that you could create for us a son. I want you to go into her and I want her to become your wife so that you will not be in sin when you do this carnal thing that I'm thinking of. And isn't that something how we think we can, you can't fix sin. Sin is sin. It don't matter what color it is, what kind, what neighborhood, or what order, whether it's high level sin or low level sin. Sin is sin. And what she was asking her husband to do was a sinful thing, mainly because God is the one who is in control of our births. You ain't in control of your children. I mean, I know maybe you had the baby and you met with the gentleman and y'all had the baby, but it wasn't up to you how the baby was going to come out. You know what I mean? I mean, the Lord didn't ask you, well, you want to have a big nose or a little one. You want to have some big ears or some little ears. You want to have some straight hair or some curly hair. You want tall or short.
Made to order.
The Lord didn't ask us any questions about our children. We just had to take what God sent us. And that's why you don't need to be loving them when they act good and not loving them when they act bad. What you do is love them when they act good and be ready. Expect them to do some things that will be unsavory to you. She told her husband, I'm almost done. She told him, said, go in to Sarah or to my handmaid and get her pregnant so I can have a child. How selfish can you be? Take somebody that mess up their life. You know, let them have a baby by somebody that you know